Okay, thank you so much for Mr. Wanjala and team and the church as a whole. Okay, I know I'm going to talk about something, what you normally call your personal marketing tool. But before we talk about that, maybe I'd love to say something a little bit about who we are. My name is Dixon Njoro, Njoro as Njoro, the way it sounds. I am a legal trainer. That means I'm a lecturer. I teach law. I also head the Institute of Pension Management, and I'm sure you might have come across some of our info, and you'll notice that we are both a corporate and also a professional institution. When I say corporate, it means we do corporate trainings in matters of pension, in matters of HR, but other than that, we also offer training services to people who are, young men and women who are intending to start their career path, as Professor said, or you are even already in school, meaning that you are doing a course, and as Professor said, you are able also to add on that particular course and do something else, what you call professional development. So IPM provides both certification programs in HR and pension. If you want to be a certified human resource professional, under Human Resource Examination Board, then IPM is a place for you to get your certification pro. If you want to pursue a career in matters the pension industry, but you want to be a certified pension manager, then IPM is a place you'll come and will be able to support you in that area. For those of us who want to do diploma or certificate programs, or even artisan. When I say artisan, I'm saying, as Professor said, the grade doesn't matter these days. The grade you get in Form 4 does not matter, because now the Kenyan government, in partnership with the training institutions, have provided a career pathway, what you call a career path, where you can start and progress until you reach your destination. So even IPM, also in partnership with the examination bodies like NEC, like TVET, CDAC, and CASNEP, gives you that opportunity to pursue your career. You are able to start from wherever you can, depending on the grade that you get. For those who are already in university, or you have already completed, or you are doing a particular course, Professor said you need to build your skills more, make yourself more marketable, gain more knowledge and skills. And how do you do that? You do not only focus on one program alone. No, you even have a backup, you see. If you are doing, for example, HR, and HR is dealing with matters of pension of employees, what do? You do a pension course, either the whole of it or a certificate part of it. If you are in finance and you feel like, I'm doing BCom, but BCom is not enough, what do? You run to CASNEP, and what do? You look for CPA. So that's what we are trying to say, that you build your skills, and competence to be much more marketable, to be much more presentable to employers, as you shall see. So if you want more information, I normally say we have a desk outside there. You can always talk to my colleague Abraham, and we'll guide you in our programs that we do offer. I wanted to say something right now that I've seen since this year, March, when COVID happened. I know majority of us have not been able to even start school. It might be because of finances, or it might be because you feel like, no, for me, until ile siku atasema tuingie campus physically, I will do that. COVID is the new normal, and is not going to go away anytime soon, unfortunately to say so. Institutions in this country, including even IPM as a whole, they have come up with another form of learning, another avenue. I know we are used to physical classes. Wanjala and I, and even Madam Irene, for us, unfortunately, to go to tunaenda classes physically. These days, my friend, in IPM since March, I think I've only had around 7 or 10 physical sessions. 100%, almost 80%, they are virtual. We have a learning management system whereby ikifika ile time ya class yako, you log in, you have a conference, you are able to see your teacher, you are able to see your colleagues, you are able to attend class like you are in a physical one, and you are also able to access your materials. in the system. So what I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. You look for an institution that has all those opportunities. If it's IPM, you'll get them. If it's Hallmark, you'll get them. If it's TUK, you'll get them. Nairobi University, you'll get them. So don't sit back and say, I am waiting until, institutions now open physically. You'll be wasting time because other people now are running. Get in the system and move on. So long as the institution is able to support you fully, believe me, you will be able to complete your study. You saw guys in TUK graduating, I think it was early this week, isn't it? Virtually. Wamekaa tu kwako, kwa sitting room huko, wanaita jina yako, alafu kapicha kanaonekana hapo, wanasema Bachelor of Engineering. My friend, hakuna story ya picha, You see? So those guys will not have opportunities that some of us here had to go and put on gowns. Gown unavalia kwa nyumba yako, so that you are seen by your people close there. You see? You'll see some of them, like today, I know they'll be taking photos in town, you see, with the family members. But they graduated virtually. I think even KU did the same, isn't it? Yes. So what are we trying to say? Can we live in the normal? So education has to move on. And we are here to support you in that particular line. I don't know whether my colleagues are already up there. I wanted us to talk about something that matters a lot to most of us. And that is your marketing tool. And your marketing tool is, we are talking about your CV. We are talking about what you call your curriculum vitae, in CV. We are talking about your your resume. Because some people call it a resume, others will call it curriculum vitae, which is actually abbreviated to CV. Now, this CV is what is your brand, That's what you present to prospective employers. So the most important thing we need to ask ourselves is, what should be in that particular CV? What are employers looking for? I know one of our speakers will be talking about it later. But the employers has to see it in the CV before they can even call you for an opportunity for a physical interview. I don't know if some of you are here who have been looking for jobs. My friend, umeandika CVs ukatuma, ukapeleka, ukatuma kwa online. Zingine ukaenda ukadrop physically. You wonder why you are never called, even for an opportunity. Sindio? You might realize the problem is not even you. The problem is not your skills. The problem is the way you have packaged yourself. So when employers just look at your presentation in CV, already they already have a predetermined position about you, wanaweka on the side. Are you getting that? So what I want us to look at is, I want us to look at two things. One is how you can package yourself in your CV. The two ways or two types of CV writing. And then now we also see, what do you need to have in that particular CV? Maybe your team, are they able to, maybe they go slide by slide and then I can tell them to move the next? They can start with the lesson 1, because I want us to move very fast. Tell them to zoom a little bit so that it's bigger. Yeah. I tend to be very brief and to the point. That's why you won't see a lot of writings. No. You will just see what are the main items that we actually need to understand. This particular slide is just asking us, what should your CV contain? So that when you are packaging yourself, you need to ensure that whatever is indicated there is clear, very clear, that you do not even send it to your prospective employer unless it has those particular items. I wish our colleagues could actually zoom it so that it's a little bit seen. Now, I'll just talk about them because I know what they are. Your CV must have your biodata. When I talk about your biodata, we are talking about your personal information in terms of your names, you see. And here, there's something we will talk about. I know most of us, we love putting it there, our personal lives. But you're talking about biodata, meaning what your names, you see, where your names, your contact details. That is your telephone number and your email address. I know sometimes, and most of the CVs that we do write, we normally indicate our status. I'm single, I am married, I am a boy, I'm a girl, you put your sex there. Those things, normally, they are not relevant in a CV. They are not really relevant. No one wants to really know if you are married or you are single or you are searching. You see? What they are interested in is what are your full names and your government names, full names, government names. I'll talk about that. I'll just add something later on. The mistake that most of us we do is that we tend to use nicknames or abbreviations. Write your full government names, put your contact details there. Number two, the CV is supposed to have your qualifications. When I talk about qualifications, I'm talking about your levels of education. You see? People need to know up to what level have you trained and in what field have you trained. That's very important. You see? Do not confuse qualifications with the competence and the skills. You see? Qualification just shows your area, your field of training. You see? But your competence, you need also to bring out the skills, you are good at. What are you good at doing? What are you able to do? If they are digital literacy skills, you need to bring them out. If they are marketing skills, you need to bring them out. That is supposed to be in your CV. Your CV there, as you can see, we are talking also at past jobs and work experience. It's very important. People will always want to see, you applying for this particular position. Have you done it before? What is your experience in this particular area? It's very important, you see? So bring out your experiences. And here, I want just to move on, is the experience must be relevant to the job you are applying for. Please. You cannot be applying for an HR job, but your experiences in your CV are talking about marketing. They are talking about maybe something in engineering. No, the experiences must relate to the job you are applying for. That should come out very clearly. Interests that show the whole person. Yes, the particular interests that you do have. Your values, your interests, bring them out in that particular CV. And then also, very important, referees. People who can back up what you say on your CV. I know when we talk about a referee, most of us, we normally sometimes indicate our teachers, our ID masters, your university chancellor. No one will call your university chancellor to find out if you went to that particular campus. No, they will just do a search, as we are saying. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. So no one will call your university. A referee must be someone who knows you very well. Someone maybe you have worked with. You see? And this particular person can actually back you up. Backing up meaning that they can vouch for you. For example, these days when you indicate me as your referee, what some employers normally do is they can even call me or even send me a memo. Something that I can write a few things about you. You see? So if you put me on your CV as your referee and I have no clue about your experiences, your educational standards, your competences, believe me, you are likely to use that particular job. Because I'll have to fill it up. They will ask me questions about you. They will even ask me something that you did that is out of the ordinary as per the job you're applying for. And that's now where the challenge normally comes in when we indicate our referees. Put someone who you have worked with, someone who knows what you do, someone you went to school with, or someone you even have done a volunteer activity with, meaning they know you so well. And they're able either to vote for you orally, if it is a telephone call, or in writing, if they are sent, a reference form to fill, complete it, and send it back. And then another thing that you need to do, always advise your referees whenever you apply for a job. If there are people you're using, you ask them, can you be my referee? Yes. When you apply for a job, tell them that I have sent my CV to a prospective employer. They might call you out or they might look you out. So kindly check your mail or ensure that your phone is on. Because if they don't, send back references about you, you are likely to lose that particular job. Good. I think we got the next slide. Thank you. There are two ways or two types of CVs, how you can package your CV. But it doesn't matter. You have a right to choose whatever format you use. CVs can be written chronologically, or they can be functional. When you talk about a chronological CV, that's an example. A chronological CV talks about the order of your education and experiences. You see? So meaning that you start with your qualifications and then followed by your what? Your experiences. That's what you normally call chronological order. So when a prospective employee is looking at the CV, he will be able to first see how far or what level of education in terms of training has Mr. Nwanjala achieved so far. After that level of education, then you come to your experiences in terms of jobs. And that's where you normally see that I went to primary from this particular year to this particular year. What did I get? In brackets, you can even indicate the marks you got. You see? 448 out of 500. It's easy. I know you do 500. For us, we were in 700 those years. Yes. Sometimes I feel like it's a joke. How do you get 480 out of 500? Yes, that one. Una indicate pale ndani. Next, from this particular year, high school, 2002 to, let's say, 2005, I was in St. Teresa, blah, blah, blah. What did I get in brackets? A B minus. What are you trying to do? You are stating your chronological education in terms of a level from primary up to your latest level. And then after that, you go to your jobs, or what you normally call job experiences. And there, you talk about the jobs you have done up to the latest. And how do you did it? You normally start with the latest as you go downwards. Mashika? Yes, people need to see what is your current position or where are you working right now. And here, I want just to compile all of them. Please, ensure that when you are writing a CV, you tailor the CV to the job you are applying for, such that the experiences should reflect, the job you are applying for. Don't just put that I worked for this particular company. There are people, my friend, who will indicate in their CV 5 companies that they have worked for organizations. But when you try to compare what they were doing in those particular organizations or companies in relation to the job they are applying for, they are not totally parallel. You see? And that's why your TV will be put aside, because your job experiences do not reflect the job you are applying for. That's what we call a chronological order. And then also state referees is always your referees. And at least have 2. At least 2. Usiweke watano, weka wawili ama watatu. That is okay. And we say the referees must be people who can vouch for you. They know you very well. The next format of CV is functional. If you look at that part, what you normally call the functional CV. Most people prefer this one. A functional CV, the moment you look at it, it describes your experiences and the competences. And that's what most employers normally prefer. That the moment I look at Madam Irene's CV, the first thing I see are her experiences and competences in relation to the job she's applying for. What do? The moment we see they are the same, tunaiweka kando, tunasema hii imetosha. We shall call these ones. If they look at mine for Dixon and they realize it has nothing to do with whatever he's applying for, hiyo tunaweka kwando kada kwa dustbin. Huyu ni baadaye. You see? So people will first look at your competences, That's why you call it functional. It is operational. It brings out your competences and skills. And here, maybe I would say this. Always have a general CV with you. A general one. A general CV talks about what you have done. Everything you have ever done. Document it in the 2 formats. And then, when you'll be looking for a job opportunity, you will now tailoring your general CV to fit the job that you are applying for. That's okay. Next. What's that? Are they... Just tell them to go to the next slide, or they go to lesson 2. Yeah, you can zoom it, and then you just go to the next slide. So I hope you have understood lesson 1. Lesson 1, we're just trying to bring out the format of the two CVs. That is the functional and the chronological. This lesson 2 is just trying to explain. For example, if you look at slide 1, slide 1 is trying to tell you what is your CV. You know, your CV is your advert. You are advertising yourself. You see, you are showcasing yourself to the market. You are showcasing yourself to the market. Kindly, can you make it a little bit bigger? You are showcasing yourself to the market, and you are trying to tell the market who you are, you know, and what you can offer. That's what your CV is. You know, it's your tool of branding. It's your tool of branding. Go to the next slide. Yes, let's stick there. Can you tell them to expand it a bit, please? Now, this slide is very important. I want you to look at the do's and don'ts of your CV. You see? What should you put in your CV and what you are not supposed to put in the CV. And I would start with the first one, which is very important. You know, you need to be very... Again? Yes. You need to be positive, you know, and you need to sell yourself. That is the do's. Be positive and sell yourself. Number 2, highlight your relevant skills and experiences. Very important. Bring out your skills and experiences, just like we are talking about in the formats of the CVs. Next, we are talking about use evidence. When you talk about evidence is, you are not just saying, I was working for IPM. Yes, we know you are working for IPM. What were you doing there? Yes, what were you doing there? That is evidence, you know, what were you doing and how you did it. The next one is, you need to be short and to the point. You see, very brief. Don't write a lot of things. Be brief and to the point, and then check spellings and grammars, and then tailor your CV to each job. Let me explain the last two. When we say tailoring your CV to the job, we are saying that the skills and the competence in your CV must be in tandem with the job you are applying for. That way, you'll have an opportunity for the physical interview. If they don't relate, then forget about ever being called for an interview. You want, because what you have shown the employer is that you can't do. There is no relationship between your competences and skills and the job that you are applying for. The element of grammar and spellings, that is a no-go zone. Always relook at your CV. The moment your CV has spelling mistakes, grammar. Already you are showing your prospective employer that you are incompetent. It is simple as that. Because if you are not able to write well, if your grammar is poor, if you have spelling mistakes in your CV, then you have already told your employer is incompetent. So, ensure that you do not have spelling mistakes. The don'ts. Don't lie. Please. Yeah, don't lie. Lying means that whatever you are writing there is actually not true. You know very well this is the job. But what you have done, because you know what your employee is looking for, you put it there. So the employer will assume this is your competence and skills. But now what happens when you are called for a job interview? But there some of you are very funny. When you are called for job interviews, sometimes you cry. I've seen it before. You see, you start shaking, you start crying, and then they wonder, why are you crying? Now, the thing here, you are crying because you are not able to defend yourself, because you lied in the CV. And because now it's a physical interview, and you are being asked, to prove what you wrote, you are not able to. And that's why now you end up shaking and crying. Yes. So don't lie, because you will be put to task to answer that. The next one is use more than 2 pages. In fact, let me say this. Use 2 or 1. A CV must be actually a maximum of 2 pages. It is simple as that. Something very brief, something to the point. So put it in 2 pages. Include your date of birth, gender, orientation, marital status. This is what I was saying. It is not important. Don't put a whole page. You have stated your age. You have put your marital status. You have put your. That is irrelevant. I am a Christian. Maybe my colleague is a Muslim. No one wants to know that. So these ones are not relevant, as I'm saying. The last one is we are talking about gaps in your school or work record. When you talk about gaps, we are looking at people are not able to see the connection between your levels of education. Sometimes you start now, the last time you were in school was in 1988, and then now you joined school again 10 years later or 100 years later. It doesn't argue well. That's what we are talking about. And then we are talking the issue of spelling or grammar errors, Then the last one, employers can't do what? What is that saying? Employers can't ask for these or base decisions on them. That's why we are saying those things that we have written there, employers don't make decisions based on them. They don't. In simple terms, the decision that a prospective employer will make is based on your dues, is based on your competence, is based on education, is based on your job experiences. Thank you so much. We can go to the next one, next slide, because I think we are winding up. Chini? Yeah, those are the things that we are just trying to repeat. Watch out for spelling and punctuation. Format well. Have you included all the right information? Are you using examples to demonstrate all your skills? In your education and work, demonstrate your skills, and then experience, and then other achievements and interests. It's important. Indicate any other achievements or interests. You remember what the professor was saying here. There are so many other things she has done, and she has done them because of her jobs that she's getting. So she realized, because she's dealing with a lot of projects, she decided to do something in project. You see? That is another achievement. That's another achievement. I am a trainer. As much as I'm a trained legal person, that's not what I intended to do, mostly. I didn't want to do just legal practice alone. I also want to teach. So what did I do? I also went and did a training in pedagogy. Pedagogy is teaching methodology, so that I can also be able to teach. You see? There's a difference between doing finance and teaching finance. Sindio? Yes. Not all of us are teachers. Not all of us can be trainers. You also need to gain skills in teaching methodology for you to be able to impact knowledge. So you can see that is now my other achievement. I am fine. I am trained in this area, but I can also impact knowledge on this person. How do I prove? I produce a certificate in teaching methodology. That's what I'm saying. So can you also bring out other interests that are incidental to your main area of training, to your main area of training, to a main area of training? Good. I think this is just what they're saying, tailor your CV. What I was trying to say, that the CV must be tailored to fit the job you are applying for. It is simple as that. I don't want to go through all those particular writings. The CV must fit the job you are applying for. That is the main item that is being brought by that particular slide. The last one. This is just a summary of what I've taken you through. Go down so that we can start down as we go up and make it a little bit bigger. Again. That's okay. So this is the steps when you are writing a CV, when you are preparing your CV. Step number 1. Okay, thank you there. Demonstrate all your skills and experiences. That is step number 1. Use evidence. Be brief, to the point, and then be positive about yourself. Step 1 is talking about start with a great basic CV. A great basic CV is just the general CV I was talking about. Then from that particular CV, whenever an opportunity will be arising, so now you will be tailoring the job opportunity to that CV. Step number 2, apply for the right job. It is simple as that. Apply for the right job. And we are saying job opportunities relate to your area of training. Apply for the right job. When I say apply for the right job, I am saying apply for a job that your experience fit that job, and also your training fits that particular job. There are people who have been training in various areas. So that means they have opportunity to apply for various positions that arises. You see, I might be a teacher, but I can also do finance work because I'm also trained in matters finance. So when you are applying for a right job, let the experiences and your qualifications be in tandem with that particular job. That's what we mean a right job. And then number 3, we are saying tailor that particular CV. So the experiences from number 2 and the qualifications from number 2, you now put in the CV for the job that you are applying for. And then the last one, we are saying highlight why you are the right person for the job. Show you are interested and motivated. That is number 4. Meaning, kindly pull so that the team can see clearly. Write a strong covering letter to accompany your CV. And then lastly, all you have done, your best to get all that is important, interview. The last word is important, interview. Meaning that whatever you have done down there will give you an opportunity for an interview. So you need to do from number 1 to number 4 for you to have a chance to be called for an interview. And now that's why we'll ask yourself, you might have sent out so many CVs for those of us who are in college or are trying to apply for internships, and you wonder why you are not being called. It is because step 5, being called for an interview, is demonstrated by the other factors we have spoken about that. In simple terms, unless your CV brings out your qualifications, your skills and competence in relation to the job or opportunity you are applying for, you will not be called for an interview. So you notice now the problem is actually the CV you are doing what? You are submitting to your prospective employers. CVs are not only used for jobs. CVs are also used to apply for internships, what we normally call industrial attachment. You see? And for those of us who are yet to join school, I want to take a little bit time on that. An internship is an opportunity for you to get experience. Some of them are paid for, some of them are not. Some of them, they give you a commission. You see? So internships help you gain experience for a future prospective job. And it's important for everyone in college or university to do an internship. Now, let me tell you, when you are doing a certificate course, it is a must you do an internship after finishing that certificate course. That is a point you need to know. That once you do a certificate course, before you even graduate, you must do an internship. For example, if you look at NEC examinations, it is in the curriculum, it is in the syllabus, that certificate course holders must have done internship after completing the course. It is part of the course. They call it industrial attachment. If you are doing a degree course or a diploma course, for a diploma course, they say you are supposed to do your internship in the second module. So you do module 1, you finish module 2, and then you do your internship before you come to module 3. It is part of the course. We call it industrial attachment. If you're in campus, depending on the course you are doing, for education, for example, I know you always have that teaching practice thing, isn't it? That you do, is it in 4th year or 3rd year? 3rd year, you do your teaching practice. It is a must. There's no you will apply for a teaching job without teaching practice. They even that industrial attachment teaching practice report, isn't it? That it needs to accompany that. You see? So we are saying in campus it is 3rd year. In a diploma course, it is after module 2. In a certificate course is when you complete the whole certificate, because a certificate has 2 modules, 1 and 2. You do that. I'm telling you this because I know most of us will make mistakes when we join college or a university. Some of you go there, you start your course, you finish. Study internship, unasahau. And then now when you are looking for a job opportunity, you are not even able to bring out any experience, because internship forms part of your experience. That's how it is. It forms part of your experience. So you have no choice. You just need to do it. So how do you write a CV for internship? Because you don't have an experience. When you are applying for a job, it is clear because you have past jobs or experiences. But here I am applying for an internship. So how do you tailor it? You see? Because you don't have any past experience. Can you bring out the competencies? So do a functional CV. Do a functional CV when you are looking for internship. Because a functional CV will tell you, a prospective employer, your competencies and skills that you have gained so far in the course you are doing. You getting that? So do a functional CV. Forget about the chronological one, which brings out more of job experiences. The functional CV will talk about your competences and skills that you have gained in the course that you have just done, whether it's a certificate or a diploma or a degree. So I think that is okay. That's what I wanted to share with you. And for internships, I'm sure Madam Moreno will share something with you, because I know she's in that area so well. You realize that some institutions will support their students to get internships. Or you yourself, you look for it, and the institution backs you. In IPM, we try our best to support our students, especially in pension management, because that's a very unique and a new area in the industry. So we are able to place you, to send you somewhere where you can get your experience. The same thing happens also even in NEC programs for people doing certificate or diploma courses. So the institutions can also support you. I'm telling you this because I also want you to choose rightly. When you are choosing an institution, can you find out, other than teaching, other than education, what other opportunities does the school offer to its students? Do they support students in getting internship or getting placements? Those are the things I also want you to find out in whatever institution that you are going to choose. For us at PM, you are very much welcome any time, as I said. I think I want to end there, and if there's any question, maybe you can ask, and we'll be able to respond to the same. Thank you so much.
Let's appreciate Mr. Dixon. Wow, that was powerful. Yeah, functional CV and chronological CV. Najua we hear some people wanasema usichome CV bana. Or unachoma CV. So please make sure you write good CVs. At some point, we was working. At some point, I was receiving some CVs from people. And what I was reading, and also what I was seeing, I couldn't believe. Because someone, yes, you've gone to school, you have all the requisite qualifications, but now when coming to putting them down, unashanga, is this laziness, ama is it just because you're just doing for the sake of it, ama what is it? But I think from what you learned here, please take it very seriously, come up with good CVs. And you have at least the steps where you can take for you to come up with a good CV. Because employers, like for example right now, there are many people looking for jobs. So like for example, if there's a vacancy that have just been announced, kuna many applications. So first impression is always important, and you can't get a second chance to make the first impression. So employer akiangalia CV yako na mbano umeandika vitu zako hapa, sema hii weka kando, but akiona something interesting, sema they'll be interested. Alafu anaweka kando vile Mr. Dixon alikuwa akisema. So please, CV writing is very, very important. Ensure you come up with good CVs. Amen? So do you have any question? Any question that you want to ask Mr. Dixon? I can see Mass is there. Yeah, just stand and ask your question. Good afternoon, yes. Wow, she's asking about the cover letter. Amen. Okay, thank you so much for that. Hope you've gotten. Okay, let's go to Caleb. You can use this microphone, water sanitize, so that we can able to hear your